Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay, here to talk a little bit about this Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion fiasco. Now, as many people know, Tory Lanez um, was on trial for the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion in the foot in 2020. The two had an altercation outside of a club back 3 years ago, and he shot her in the foot. Now he has received 10 years for this assault on her person, and a lot of people are up in arms about it. Some of his defenders are coming to his defense, saying that was he has, like his lawyer said, he has an alcohol problem, he has bipolar or schizophrenia, other mental illnesses that he may have, and a lot of his peers are hey Lisa, what's going on? A lot of his peers are coming to his defense as well, including rapper Iggy Azalea and singer Mario, who both wrote letters in his defense. Basically as a character as character witnesses, basically saying that he's a good person, that even though he has these problems, he's a dependable guy. Mario even says that he is a family man. Mario, of course, references his own personal life, how he didn't have a family, and he felt like Tory Lanez is a good family man and is there for his family and is a provider for his family. Iggy Azalea also defending him, like I said, saying that he's a good person, that all the times that she's worked with him, he, he's he's been dependable, he's been honest. Basically, people coming to his defense. But here is my thing, in my opinion, whether or not he's a good person, whether or not he's a family man, whether or not he's the Pope, whether or not he is a saint, it doesn't matter because this is what happened outside that club in 2020. He shot her. He shot her. That's the thing we have to remember. He shot her in the foot, yes, but he shot her. What if it hadn't been the foot? What if it had been an internal organ? You know what I mean? And for people that say, well, okay, he didn't shoot her, there were shrapnel in her foot, pieces of the bullet in her foot. How do you explain that? And and that's the thing to me. I like Mario. I always liked his music. Iggy Azalea, I don't know about her. I think there's some racist shade, in my opinion, when it comes to her, because here we're talking about a woman who, in 2014, when Fancy came out, she was on top of the music world as far as female rap, and she was projected to be the next big thing. And then people, much like Vanilla Ice, when people found out she was a fraud and that she was perpetrating a front, she was never able to regain any sort of relevancy in the music business. And people like Megan Thee Stallion and other black female rappers have surpassed her. A lot of people are getting on her because she was in a relationship with Nick Young as well that was abusive. And as a woman, she should she should conceivably stand as a united front, um, against women in abusive relationships. But she didn't. And again, racist shade, in my opinion. I do think that Iggy Azalea is kind of uh, racist, kind of biased towards black women. I mean, this was this came down to, in my opinion, a gender struggle, an interracial gender struggle between black men and women. Some men were obliviously supporting Tory Lanez just because he's a man. You know what I mean? Not looking at the specifics of the case, just supporting him simply because he's of their gender. You know, and because we have these gender wars uh, um, going on online, and we use these celebrities, as representations of what is really our gender dynamic. in the world, even though we're not in the same social circle as them and we're not in the same social bracket as them, and we don't have the resources and the finances that they have. But we use them as our representations, our avatars, if you will, to represent us in the intergender wars that we have here online. You know what I'm saying? The Kiki Palmer thing was a perfect example. Now, people want to point to at that time Megan Thee Stallion had lost her mother, and maybe she was a little verbally abusive towards Tory as well, right? And people want to say, well, then he was justified. How's he justified for shooting her in the foot? You know what I'm saying? This is what it comes down to. He shot her. You know what I'm saying? He didn't punch her, he didn't slap her, he didn't hold her back. He shot her. You know what I'm saying? And it was just the foot, so it seems like it's comical. But think about it this way: had the shrapnel stayed in her foot any longer than what it stayed, her foot could have been amputated. You know what I'm saying? It could have became infected. It could have caused gangrene, and it could have been amputated. But these guys that are defending Tory Lanez, right, and these other rappers that are defending Tory Lanez, first off, to the regular guys, I feel like the regular guys don't really care about the specifics of the situation. They see Megan Thee Stallion as maybe a representation of their ex-girlfriends. You know what I mean? That tried to hem them up in court, tried to put false allegations on them in court, right? And they see it as that. From what I see of the specifics of the case, yes, Tory Lanez had some issues going on mentally. You know what I'm saying? But he had to deal with those issues. He had to deal, in my opinion, with his Napoleon complex of him being shorter than Meg, right? And him feeling inferior towards him, and him feeling some type of way about his relationship with her because she's so much bigger than he. You know what I mean? That he had to use a gun as the great equalizer against her. Because, I mean, even though he's a man and she's a woman, right? Still, the size difference is there. And if they would have gotten into a physical altercation with their fist, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if she would have got the best of him physically, but it wasn't much damage that he could have done anyway. So he had to use a gun. But the fact that he resorted to doing that, and the fact that people are defending him. And let's just be honest, and people are saying this, especially when going back to the Iggy Azalea thing. If Tory Lanez had shot a white woman, right, like this, there'd be nobody in the media defending him, saying that he should have got off with a lighter sentence. It's the fact that black women's lives are less valued in the world, and especially black women like Megan Thee Stallion that makes the kind of content that she makes. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. A lot of these men's rights people and people that are pro men's rights, they didn't like WAP. You know what I'm saying? They don't like the content that Meg puts out that's overly sexual. I don't like it a lot either. You know what I'm saying? But they put her as public enemy number one, so they don't care necessarily if she goes down. They just want to see one go out for their own team, similar to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. But not every situation comes down to a gender war dynamic shit. Not every situation comes down to who you like better or whose songs you like better, or even in the case of Mario and Iggy Azalea, who's your friend. That's why justice should be impartial. Oh, Lisa's saying people are saying that the 10 years really had to do with with him taunting Megan after the incident. Exactly. He wasn't remorseful on it. He wasn't sorry for his actions. He was proud of his actions. He was proud of what he did. So it makes him an ultimate scumbag. You know, I want to say this for all those that are defending Tory Lanez, for all those defending his actions. What if it was your sister? What if it was your daughter? What if it was your mom who was shot in the foot? And not only, as Lisa's pointing out, was she shot in the foot? He was taunting it. He was gloating about it. He was taunting her. He was gloating about it, even on the internet after it happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. When you do a crime, you have to be remorseful of it. And then he's gonna sit around and turn around and say he didn't do it. How are you gonna say you didn't do it when you were taunting about it the next second? So 10 years. I hope in these 10 years he thinks about his actions, about what he's done, about holding restraint. Sometimes, yeah, Drake is another one. Let's get to that. Um, he kept talking about it, and Drake, Lisa says he kept talking about it, and Drake had a verse about it on one of his songs. Yeah, Drake had a verse implying that Megan lied on Tory. Let's read uh, Drake's verse on Tory Lanez. Okay, he puts, um, I've been fucking a French bitch, c'est la vie. I just put her on a jet. Now they're all Italian. Way I'm dressing till till I've been to 1,000 islands. This bitch lying about getting shot, but she's still a stallion. She don't even get the joke, but she's still smiling. So there he is right there. The song is called uh, the song is called Circo Loco. So basically, he's saying he been fucking French bitches, say la vie. He puts them on it. They're Italian. These bitches lying about getting shot, but they still call themselves a stallion. They go right then and there. He's calling her out on these lyrics. You know, you know what I mean? And she doesn't take this lying down. Her response is, her response. Imagine, uh, imagine ninjas lying about bitch just to save face with other rappers you chill with. So Megan addressed the issue right there with Drake. To me, that's some bitch made shit because Drake. I mean, I'm a BO fan. I've been a Drake fan since he was on Degrassi. Been supporting him for years. Lisa always comes out again of my Drake stanship. That's true. But come on, this had nothing to do with you, my guy. You have an opinion about something you probably was you there? Did you see the altercation? No, you're just chiming in with your 2 cents because he's your boy, and that's the point she's trying to make in this song. It's like He's your boy, and you're defending him just because he's your boy. You know nothing about the situation, so having an opinion seems irrelevant. Right? Lisa says, yeah, exactly. She said to stop using her name shooting for clout, and that's exactly what Drake is doing because that's what Drake does. Honestly, how has Drake remained the top rapper of the decade for the last 10, well, now going on 14 years? How has he done it? We see how he does. What he does is he sees a trend, something that people are talking about, something that's popping right now, and he jumps on that trend. He does a song with that person, or he copies that person's flow. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they call Drake. That's why a lot of people come out and they accuse Drake of being a culture vulture because here he is seeing this train, seeing something that people are talking about, something that people are discussing, something that is in the general zeitgeist of the situation. And he jumps on it and he wants to be a part of it and he expresses his opinion about it. We've seen him do this with dancehall. We've seen him do this with British rap when he came out with War. We've seen him do this with different slang. Well, why did he put a little Dirk on his song? Why is he talking about King Von? Why is he talking about this and about that? Things that don't concern him. Because his whole goal in life is to remain relevant. You know what I'm saying? And you know, props to him. That's what he's done. That's what he's been doing since he first came out. You know what I mean? He put out his first song, you know what I mean? One of his first songs forever with Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and Eminem. Three of the biggest titans in rap. That's what Drake does. Drake sees something that's relevant and he hops on that train and he doesn't miss that train. But when it comes to this, like, get all your facts straight before you start defending somebody and taking a side. He just felt like, okay, this is the popular thing to do. And plus, we know that people question Drake's masculinity. I mean, the jokes about Drake's masculinity has been existing for about 10 years now. So he feels like, okay, I got to take the guy's side, not only because he's my boy, but because people are going to say if I take the woman's side, I'm being soft, I'm being a simp, I'm being, I'm kissing women's asses or whatever. I'm being, too woke, as it were. You know what I mean? Too accommodating uh, to women if I don't take the side, of the other guy. Um, Mario writes, uh, "My name is My name is Mario Barrett. I am a recording artist and a businessman. I'm good friends with Tory Lanez and have known Tory for 7 years." He wrote. R&B singer Mario also wrote I'm trying to find. I know Lisa sent me that 10-page letter. the letter that Mario wrote to the judge. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and read a 10 page 10 page letter anyway. But in a summary, Mario says he's known Tory. I almost said Tate. There you go, Freudian slip. He's known he's known Tory for 7 years, and he's never seen him act out of character ever. Right? Oh, Lisa says it wasn't 10 pages. Okay. But what people are focusing on about Mario's letter is he's never seen Tory Lanez act out of character or violent towards someone. Okay, what is that really saying? You've never seen it, but that doesn't mean that it has never happened. Okay, for the people that are saying that she lied, right? Again, if she lied, how do you explain the shrapnel in her? How did it get there? Tell me how. What she shot her own foot? You know, you know, you know what I'm saying? That's your theory. Oh, she wanted to get Tory locked up, so she took the gun and shot her own foot. You know what I'm saying? That's the conspiracy theory. She's gonna risk possibly having her foot infected and amputated in order just to get back in him. She's that evil and she's that devious. Seems ridiculous in my opinion. You know, and he's coming out, and Tory Lane's last statement uh, to his fans. Tory Lane's last statement to his fans says, "Tough times don't last, tough guys do." It seems like he's ripping off Scott Hall's uh, famous wrestler Scott Hall's Hall of Fame speech from uh, from 2014. But and then he says, "I refuse to apologize for something I did not do." So there you go. He's not remorseful. He claims he didn't do it, but here he was again taunting her right after it happened. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't do it, so why are you taunting her about it? And again, all these theorists that say he didn't do it fail to explain how the shrapnel got into her foot. But again, is your guys' theory? I'd like somebody that is a supporter of Tory Lanez, that is a supporter of Mario's position and Iggy Azalea's position and everybody else's position that is pro Tory Lanez, to explain to me in the comments section how what is your theory as to how the shrapnel got into her foot. Because with every theory, with every position, like say your position is about 9/11, that it was an inside job. The 9/11 conspiracy theory, 9/11 truther people, they have explanations, they have reasons. I'm sure Tory Lane supporters must have an explanation, must have this all mapped out, a coherent argument. Other than he was a good guy, other than Oh, they never seen him act out of character. So what? You know what I'm saying? The guy was under the influence. Does it matter? You know what I'm saying? You never saw it because you didn't. You're not his boyfriend. You never got into an argument with him. You didn't have an intimate relationship with him like that. You know what I'm saying? How many people in your life present to you a public face one time and a private face another time? It's not that far of a stretch to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like all these character witnesses, they mean nothing because they don't describe the man when he's angry or when he's upset with his partner. They're just describing working with him in the studio and knowing him for 7 years. Bullshit. I can know somebody for decades and not really know the real them. You know what I'm saying? That says nothing. How did the shrapnel get into her foot? You're claiming that she shot her own foot just to lock him up. I don't think it makes much sense that somebody would go to do that lengths. Because again, if you have a conspiracy theory, like people have a conspiracy theory, people that don't believe that OJ uh, killed Nicole Brown, they have an explanation for what happened and why it happened. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't believe this, if you don't believe Megan's story, you must have an explanation for what else happened. What's the alternative? What, there was no shrapnel in her foot? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe uh, comment below if you are a Tory Lanez supporter, because I would like to know. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, once they found the shrapnel in her foot, that's a smoking gun. You know what I'm saying? Then there's no denying it. I probably would have rode with him. You know what I'm saying? Because things like this do happen. Women do lie. Like, yeah, I'm getting there, Lisa. Women do lie. I mean, you can't believe everything uh, some women say. We didn't cover the Lizzo situation on this channel, but you know what I mean. It's- you know, some of the Me Too shit is bullshit, but physical, ev- when you have physical evidence of something happening, chances are it probably happened. Lisa's gonna say, uh, people got on Iggy because she was basically saying he shouldn't serve time, even though she herself, yeah, well, Iggy was trying to make this a prison reform issue, as if she's some kind of advocate for prison reform. I mean, there were people in hip hop that were advocating for, well, I don't know if Kim Kardashian is in hip hop necessarily, but as we know, in 2018, 17, 18, uh, okay, Lisa saying, read her statement above. Uh, this guy says, "Do I like rap?" Yeah, I like rap. I don't know what that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but okay, yeah. I think you're on the wrong video, sir. I think the video you want to post on is the video before this one on the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Uh, but Lisa, okay, what was your statement about Mario? I don't see your statement above about Mario, Lisa. so I can't read it. Uh, okay, your name is an English version of Krishna. Okay, yeah, Krishna. We know that is the one of the avatars of Vishnu, the third Hindu god of the Trimurti, the Hindu Trinity. As it were, Krishna is the blue god, the blue deity in Hinduism. Mhm. Okay, Lisa, can you? I will. Can you, Lisa, reprint the statement that you made about Mario? Okay, Lisa's saying now we're back. Lisa's saying Mario, the other guy. I don't know. You're talking about something completely different than what the video pertains to. Uh, Lisa saying Mario really didn't defend Tori in the sense that he shouldn't serve time for basically. He basically said his sentence should be fair to his crime. Well, I don't know about that because he did defend him. I mean, here's what he said. Here's what he said. He said, "My name is Mario Barrett, and I am a recording artist and businessman, and I am friends with Tory Lanez, and I've known Tory for over 7 years. Tory and I, uh, Tory and I, Tory and I met multiple times during his rise to stardom and his humble beginnings. Just like me, we share the same passion for music and art. One of the things I loved about Tory the most is how deeply he cares about his family. Over the years, we have talked about family a great deal. Growing up without a father, I admired he was fortunate to grow up with his. The conversations revealed just how much of a stand-up person Tory is. I do not doubt that he gave his life for those closest to him. He is passionate about life, responsibility, and helping others realize their potential. Tori is the type of person who doesn't look for handouts or cheat codes. He works harder than almost anyone I know in business. And I have watched Tori struggle as an independent artist against a system that tried to oppress him because of his hard work and drive. His success in that realm says more about his work ethic and character than I ever could. Another incredible thing about Tori is that he loves and gives back to his community. He fed many people and helped them overcome unfortunate circumstances. He walks the walk. When Tori first became a father, I remember the conversations about everything he wanted to leave for his child someday, and I know his child was changing him as a man. I can only hope that Troy will be able to be there for his son during the formative years of his life. The situation at hand comes to a surprise for many of us who don't know Troy personally. I have never seen him act out of character or hurt someone. We've spoken over the phone many times and prayed with each other. All I can ask is to pray for that he and his son be treated fairly. Well, I don't know about that, Lisa, but it sounds to me like he was defending him. Sounds to me like he was saying that his character, that this is a blemish on his character, that this is that she is lying. You know what I'm saying? The implication that she is lying. You know what I mean? That he's a family man. So what? All these things don't have anything to do with how did the shrapnel get into her foot. Okay, but he's not saying that he shouldn't go to prison, but he's defending his character. Everything I just read is saying that he's a man that wouldn't do this. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying is defending the man's character. You know what I'm saying? But nothing is I his failure to comment on the situation is in itself a defense. Well, Iggy is worse, but you can't sit there and say that Mario is not defending him either, because Mario is absolutely defending him. He's defending his character. The implication, Mario's implication in the letter is that he didn't do it, that he's not capable of doing something like that. Just because he's known him for 7 years and he has a dedication to his son and he has a dedication to the music business. So what? That says nothing about, he says nothing in that letter about how he feels towards women. Is Tory Lanez a misogynist? Is Tory Lanez um, does Tory Lanez have a temper? Him, in fact, he's saying the exact opposite. Him saying that he's never seen him act out of character in a violent way is implying that he doesn't act out of character in a violent way. If for example, right, Lisa, somebody comes to me and says Lisa stole $500 from me, and I say to them, "There's no possible way," or I rephrase it in a certain way, and I say, "There's no possible way that Lisa could have stole this $500 from this individual because I've never seen her steal." It's not only implying that I've never seen her steal, but it's also an implication that she doesn't steal. You know what I'm saying? That she's not a thief. So he's implying here that Tory Lanez is not a violent person from what he's seen. If he was just saying that, he says nowhere in the letter does he say that it's possible that Meg could be telling the truth. Nowhere in the letter does he give her the benefit of the doubt. Right. Lisa says so. Basically, both letters were uncalled for. Yes, because whether or not he's a good person, that says he again he could be he could be the best person in the whole world, but that doesn't make up for the fact that he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Him saying he's a good person, that's irrelevant. But then when you go into his temperament, right? And when you try to defend the man's temperament, like Mario did, you're implying that the woman is lying, that she didn't, that it didn't happen. You're saying the same thing Drake is saying, and his other defenders are saying, but you're saying it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? You're saying it in a more sophisticated, intelligent way, in a formal way, but you're still implying that the man, oh, he's a calm man, that he's on his Zen shit, right? He's on his stoic shit, right? That he doesn't have a violent bone in his body. Well, excuse the hell out of me, but if he didn't have a violent bone in his body, what the hell is he doing with a gun pointed at a woman's foot? Oh, this I didn't know. August Alsina, of course, famously August Alsina, uh, uh, the woman, I mean, the man with whom Will Smith's, the rapper and actor Will Smith's wife cheated on him with August Alsina, 18, claimed that he was assaulted by Tory Lanez after Tory was angered after they crossed paths backstage at a concert in Chicago, and August refused to shake Tory's hand. Yes, so there you go, right there. That is bullshit. What Mario is talking about. They're making Tory Lanez out to be like he's fucking Martin Luther King Jr., that he doesn't have an angry bone in his body, that he's a fucking saint. Come on, the letter is complete bullshit. We can see right here with August Alsina that the man, that the person, Tory Lanez, has anger management issues. I mean, let's just look at this objectively. He's short, right? And people will say, well, okay, his height doesn't have anything to do with it. But usually, short people have a shorter fuse than taller people because they're not used to being taken seriously. So when they feel the slightest hint of disrespect, they pop off. We saw this in history with Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte had such a short fuse when it came to the way he was taken seriously as a world leader. The motherfucker done took over every country in the whole world and had to be stopped at the Battle of Waterloo in 1814. That's why they call it, that's why, 1815. That's why they call it Lisa says short men have a short fuse, short women are cool. I don't know about that. So um, short women are just as bad, but short men are a lot worse because I mean the height expectations that women in society put on men. I mean, just look at your average dating app to see that short people have a Napoleon complex. That's why Napoleon complex exists. I mean, hell, Tupac Shakur, another example. He wasn't even as short as Tory, right? Putin is short, exactly. And he has an alcohol problem. So you add to that well, being short isn't a condition unless it is. But I'm saying in his case it isn't because he's just short. He's not, a little person. But okay, his height, his one hit wonder status. I mean, they're sitting there saying that he's a hard worker. That he can anybody show me other than Control and a couple of songs he had in 2016 how he freaking is a hard worker? What does he put out that's any good? You know what I'm saying? Is he in the studio 24/7 putting out hits? As far as I can see, he hasn't been relevant since 2016 in 7 years when he first came out. You know, you know what I'm saying? And I always say it. I said it with Darius, Kiki Palmer's husband. When women are more successful than men feel a way about it, and they react violently. Either they become serial cheaters like Ricky Ricardo, or they try to control a woman like Kiki Palmer's husband did, or they do this. You know what I'm saying? Her name is out there. She's putting out hits. She's doing her thing. He's doing nothing. Lisa says Tory should be glad they didn't get deport him back to Canada. Canada jails are worse than United States jails. I mean, less worse than United States jails. He would have been better off in Canada. United States jails, he's going to have a hard way to go because he assaulted a female. He's a Yeah. I mean, come on, the crime rate, Lisa, in the United States is higher than in Canada. So obviously the jails are more filled up in the United States just because it's a more violent society. Not necessarily that Canada isn't a violent society, but Canada doesn't have the reputation for being a violent society. Like, there are no famous prisons in Canada that anybody can really name. There's no Rikers Island in Canada. There's no Cook County Jail in Canada. There's no San Quentin in Canada. There's no Folsom in Canada. all these famous prisons and people like myself that have never been to prison, that has records as clean as a whistle, know these names. There's no places like that in Canada. There's no Alcatraz in Canada. United States prisons, uh, United States prisons are some of the most well-known correctional facilities around the world. Now, United States isn't as bad as some other countries like South Africa, for example. South Africa is way worse. But in terms of United States and Canada, come on, Canada is a soft country. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows it compared to the United States, even in the prison system. I mean, there's a guy on here. Uh, there's a guy on here. Wait, I think his name is Canadian Prison Stories. He does prison stories about Canada. He's a Canadian guy. He served in Canadian prisons, and he's talked about it. And I've heard the stories of Canadian prisons versus American, and of course, Canadian prisons are a lot better because it's a lot better society. A lot less violent. At least it's a surprise we didn't hear from his dad this time like before. Yeah, his dad is a Karen, a male Karen. Interjecting, trying to defend his son, trying to play the victim card when his son was the perpetrator. Or Rock Nation. I mean, he's an artist signed to Rock Nation, so of course they'll defend him. But it's interesting that the hip hop community has defended Tory Lanez more than they've defended Meg. You know, well, because I don't know, the hip hop community is supposed to be so woke, right? Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell button to see when my next video is coming out. That's my opinion of this case. I mean, Tory Lanez got what he deserved. Megan Thee Stallion Yeah, Lisa says mostly all men stood with Tory. Of course, because they view Tory as their representation, their avatar, if you will. They see they see Tory, and it's misogyny, a lot of misogyny uh, in this case. They're not looking at the case objectively. They're looking at the case as men. They're not looking at the case as what would they do if there was their mom or their sister or their niece or their cousin or their daughter. That's how you always have to look at a situation when it comes to domestic abuse. Not saying that women don't lie because there are psychopathic, pathological bitches out there or women out there, uh, you know, that will lie on a man with some in situations. But she had the shrapnel in her foot. How do you fake that? Again, I like somebody. Lisa and I are obviously on the same side in this case. I'm anti Tory and pro Megan, but I would like somebody that is pro Tory to tell me in the comments section what's the theory behind that. Did in your opinion, Meg shoot herself in the foot? You know what I mean? Did she do one of those Cheddar Bob deals, like the guy Cheddar Bob from 8 Mile where he shot himself? Is that the theory going around how she got the bullet in her foot? I don't know. Comment below. Hit the bell button to see when my next video is coming out. Lisa says the fans that were men stuck together and some of the women didn't stick to. Yeah, because, oh, well, let's see. I didn't know that part. She protected him at first, so of course she's going to look like a liar then. See, that destroys your credibility, in my opinion. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. It's just like with uh, Wade Robson and James Safechuck with Michael Jackson that we talked about before, 4 years ago on the channel in the Neverland episode. You cannot come out and make a statement, defend the person that you claim harmed you, and then later on retract that statement and make an opposite statement because you make yourself look like a liar. Either you're saying the same thing all at once, or you're saying the opposite thing. You can't come out later and say the opposite and say, okay, the person did that thing to me, but then years ago you said, or months ago you said, or a while back you said they didn't. It's either one or the other. Two statements in this case, the two contradictory statements can't be true. You understand what I'm saying, guys? You know what I mean? So if she protected him at first, it's gonna look like she's bullshitting. But again, if she's bullshitting, I want to know there's physical evidence in here. You can't. It's not like the case with Michael Jackson and James Safechuck, where Safechuck and Robson claimed there was blood on their underwear, and there's no underwear to be found. There's no blood sample to be found. There's no physical evidence. It's all just conjecture. In this case, there's physical evidence. There's shrapnel in the foot. There's medical reports. That's the thing that can't be refuted. Now you could come back, and you could say, well, the census is too excessive. But that's up to the judge. You know what I'm saying? That's up to the state he's in. That's up to that jurisdiction of that state. You know what I'm saying? It's possible that, but they look at it like it's attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? Because he shot her. He didn't punch her. He didn't kick her. He didn't slam her. He shot her. You don't understand? And for all of y'all that are sitting there and saying, justice for King Von, justice for Nipsey Hussle. now 20 what some odd years later, they're opening up excuse me, the Biggie and Tupac cases, opening them up, those murder cases. For anybody that's sitting here saying justice for these people, if Megan Thee Stallion had died, hypothetically, would you be saying justice for her? You're against violence in hip hop, right? You want to stop the violence in hip hop. Yeah, I know. Lisa saying that. I think because she protected him at first. Is that the statement you're talking about? Is that what you're referring to, Lisa? She defended him at. I adjusted that. She made herself look like a hypocrite by doing that. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. You know what I'm saying? But even her, if she wanted to get around it, you can't get a. Yeah, yup. Oh, okay. I don't know. Your state, your comments these are showing up kind of late in a delay on you freaking YouTube. But uh, Lisa wrote, no, she only protected him because of what was going on at the time with George Floyd, and she didn't want to get him to get hurt by the cops. Okay, I guess. But still, do you really think something like that would have happened to a high profile celebrity like him versus a person like George Floyd? George Floyd, that happened to George Floyd because he wasn't a celebrity. You know what I mean? Even though there's racism in this country, even directed at black celebrities, no doubt about it. I know that's what she said, but that's stupid. There's racism directed at black celebrities, particularly Tupac. He always had vitriol from the cops directed at him, but not only because he was a celebrity, because he was an outspoken thought leader, and he was the son of Afeni Shakur, somebody who was antagonistic towards police since the 70s. Tory Lanez wasn't that. Celebrities, black celebrities get off all day, every day, just like white celebrities. You know what I mean? Money talks, bullshit walks. You can't compare that to George Floyd. Still, he should have came out about it. Again, if you retract the statement and you contradict yourself, it makes you look like a liar in the court of law, in the court of public opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just like Bill Cosby's accusers. Bill Cosby's accusers, the fact that they didn't come out all those years made them look hella suspect. Lisa saying, I mean, cops are cops, but since this happened in Cali, most likely they would know who he was. Yeah, I mean, shit. Even if you don't know who he is, you know he's somebody. I mean, look at the clothes he wears. Look at the car he's probably driving. I mean, come on. He ain't a regular everyday 9 to 5 dude. You know that for a fact. He ain't George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare him to none of these victims of police brutality in the world. You know what I'm saying? He has status. That's what separates him from other uh, young black men getting gunned down by police. You can't compare him to a 10-year-old like Tamir Rice. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare him to Eric Garner. You can't compare him to Trayvon. You know, you know what I mean? He has status. He's somebody. Con, the fact she probably protected his ass because she was still in love with him at the time. Her reason for protecting him is bullshit. You know, because to address the other side of it, to address the other end of it, not saying that she's a liar, but to address possibly Lisa says, until this happened, I didn't know who Tory was. To address the other end of it, I want to say a lot of times why people don't believe women and think women are all full of shit is because how many times do women do exactly what she did, protecting abusive men, getting back together with abusive men, forgiving them, taking the abuse, and taking it lying down. So of course, how you gonna believe women when they defend their these perpetrators? You know what I mean? It's it makes it hella hard. Now, is there something in psychology called Stockholm syndrome? Sure, you know what I'm saying. But how many times have you seen women go back to abusive men all the time? Tina Turner. Look how long it took Tina Turner to leave Ike Turner. Look how long it's taken so many other women to leave abusive men. Megan Thee Stallion herself, you just said it right now, Lisa, defended him. And the George Floyd excuse is fucking bullshit. That is complete bullshit. Because you might have not known who he was, but the mere fact that he's driving a lavish car, he's probably dressing in lavish clothing, and he appears to be somebody. They might not know who he is. Not not to say that his fame is ubiquitous. Not to say that he's not Drake. He's not freaking Kobe Bryant. He's not Shaquille O'Neal. He's not Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He's not somebody that everybody would know. But the mere fact that he is dressed the way he's dressed and he's in the circles that he's in and he's around her proves that he's probably somebody in the entertainment industry, even though the cops don't even know who he is. Proves that he's somebody. He has a highly prolific representation in the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying? So her excuse is bullshit. She was probably still in love with his ass. And that's why she defended him. And then when they finally broke up, she was like, all right, I'm going to break my silence. That's why she comes off looking opportunistic. Can't front. But again, sticking to my original statement, where did the shrapnel come from? The, the shrapnel, you can't fake that. Look, I don't even believe all of Bill Cosby's accusers. You know that. Lisa and I have gone back and forth about that. We disagree on that. I defend Bill to a certain extent. I believe some of his accusers are full of shit. Not all of them, but I believe some of them are completely full of shit because they came out so late. You know what I'm saying? So if she didn't have the physical evidence, if the pieces of the bullet weren't in her foot, it would be a little suspect to me. But again, the foot thing with the physical evidence, you can't fake that. That was true. You know what I'm saying? That's real. You know what I'm saying? That's tangible evidence. Oh, and Lisa saying, oh, the friend that was in the car with him called someone and said over the phone that Tory shot Megan. Yeah. So somebody else seen it. There was witnesses. Okay. Again, the Tory Lanez defenders. New stuff introduced. I didn't follow the case all that much. Uh, Lisa is obviously more well informed about this case than I am. You know what I mean? But uh, now that we're bringing this evidence to the forefront, again, so the friend's lying too. What motive would the friend have to lie? What would be his motive to lie about this happening? Was he in on it with Megan? Was him and Megan conspiring? Was he fucking her? You know what I'm saying? I mean, really. Why would the friend lie? Oh, the friend was a woman. Okay. Why would she lie? What was her motive? Uh, the friend was a female, so they're gonna say, "Oh, well, of course." You know, Chank Uger's face. I mean, Chank Uger's favorite phrase on the Young Turks. Of course. No. Lisa says, do I think after he gets out he will still have a career? No. Forever, this man will be known as the woman. I mean, as the woman, as the man who shot a woman in the foot. Even people that don't even know anything about hip hop but know about this case. I'm surprised conservative commentators haven't gotten on this and made a meme about it. But he'll forever be known as that guy that shot a woman in the foot, as we saw with the late Pee Wee Herman, aka Paul Rubens, or Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. One act can define your career, and one act can destroy your career. Because if that's the last thing that the public remembers, that's what they'll always remember about you, despite what you do after that or before that. Anyway, peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. Lisa says my buddy commented. Well, I already went against Drake. I don't think going against Candace and Drake in one video. Well, fuck it. What did she say? Okay, wow. Okay, then I'm finding myself agreeing with Candace more and more, and agreeing with hip hop less and less. I feel like the hip hop community really failed Megan Thee Stallion by siding with Tory Lanez. Both the men and the women in the community failed him and failed her. And I don't know what they gain out of it. If it can't be a popularity contest because Megan is hella more popular than Tory Lanez, you know, why are they defending him? Anyway, Lisa, thank you for contributing. Hit the bell button to see when my next video is coming out. And thank you also, even though your comment had nothing to do with this video, Krishna, for commenting. Namaste. All right. Peace.